Hey, it's a what can you do for me lately world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of Dave, quick question. What can you do for me?
Uh, in general, or just what do you mean?
Well, I feel like since you're doing it for me, you should know what it is that needs to be done.
Well, I want to discuss make them suffer. Is that what you're saying?
We can make that happen. But again, that's really more me doing for you than you doing for me, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, bro.
Hey, it's Shit Talk. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
John, thanks for having us.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
David, it's always a pleasure to see that Rangers hat.
Yeah,
Rangers suck, by the way.
they do suck. They're not having a good year.
They-
They just
they're-
traded their captain.
How are the puck sports this year? They've started, obviously. It's winter. I'm in a sweatshirt.
Both teams have struggled, Bruins and the Rangers. Boston just made a coaching change, so they've
they've also won.
game win streak.
Yeah. They're killing it now.
And the Rangers are as the Rangers. They're just gonna torture you all season. And
Our
then you're
three
gonna get in the
fans,
playoffs.
when I ask these questions, I don't really want the answer. I just want you to go, it's good, John. And then let's talk about music.
We want
John,
to make you suffer.
John, let me just give you the
Nice
life
transition.
of a Ranger fan. It's so simple. A Ranger fan is tortured all season. The team gets in the playoffs, and you pretty much know you're going to be out in the second and third round. That's it. I mean, that's being a Ranger fan. So if you can do that and get over that, then you're fine getting to the playoffs and losing every year.
So being a Ranger fan is like me being a member of Shit Talk Reviews, just constantly tortured all year long.
Suffering.
Pretty suffering.
Suffering.
Yes, make them suffer.
And then
Yes.
and then you don't make the playoffs, but your album of the year gets to go. And what happens? You get slid right out, from underneath you. So
You want to
Just
know
like a
what makes me
Ranger fan.
suffer? What makes me suffer, for those of you who watch us on YouTube, is that Dave can never center the microphone behind his skull. Like,
let me try.
how hard is this, Dave? There.
There we go.
Listen.
Thank you.
And speaking of make them suffer, we could talk about them right now if you want. What a segue from the Rangers to this. Please.
We're already into it. So we're talking about make them suffer. So this is your pick this week, Dave.
Yes, sir.
What do you got? Give us the lowdown.
Yeah, so make them suffer. Here's the deal, guys. I know you are familiar with them. I kind of was at work. I always run Spotify. I have different genres running every day.
Genres?
Genres. I said this, not genre. What'd you just say?
It sounded like genre, but
No.
that's okay.
Genres.
Yeah,
It's
first time
like
I've heard
genre
that.
and dandruff together.
Yeah.
And this came on. I was like, holy shit, what is this? And then they caught my attention. Went to the band, saw they had a new album out, listened to it probably 3-4 times, and then I dropped it on you guys. So that's how we got here. But great band, death metal band, Australian band. Let me go through the band members. Hope I don't get the names wrong. Sean Harmonis on vocals, Nick McLernan, lead guitar, backing vocals, Jayla Jeffrey on bass, Jordan Mathar on drums, who's absolutely amazing on this album, and Alex Reed, who caught my attention right away. As soon as I turned this album on Spotify and I started listening to it, as soon as she's in most of the songs, absolutely amazing. I couldn't get enough of her, and she did a phenomenal job. The band has been around for a bit. I will just go through this real quick. They do have 5 albums. First one was Never Bloom in May of 2012, Old Souls May of 2015, Words Apart in July of 2017, and then How to Survive a Funeral in 2020. And then here we are today for Make Them Suffer. So this band has been around for quite some time. So
I think you missed one. The first one was Lord of Woe in 2010.
okay, I missed it. I apologize.
It's okay.
Yep.
We won't
Thank
kick
you,
you off
John.
today. I will add to your deathcore genre
Yes, sir.
listing, and I don't know that progressive metalcore maybe. I mean, Derek will. I've said many times that I don't know any of these subgenre names, but based on my limited understanding of metal subgenres, I would put this more in the metalcore with the kind of standard big sing-song choruses, and
They are widely considered metalcore with some blackened death metal and symphonic elements. How's that?
I'd say that's pretty accurate, certainly for
Yeah,
this
right?
album.
I will say Alex Reed adds so much to, I don't know if you guys felt this, but man, did she add so much to this album, because it could get so heavy and so intense at times. And then boom, at the blink of an eye, here she comes strolling in, and wow, does it really sound great before it picks up momentum again. And she did that on a lot of these songs. And that is what immediately attracted me to the band. So
I think that they did a good job replacing Buka Nile, who was a longtime singer following sexual assault allegations, and so she left the band, was probably booted, and they didn't miss a beat, and she fits into what they're trying to do, and certainly I watched some of the live material, and she certainly fits some of their older material perfectly well. And frankly, Make Them Suffer is in a perfect position right now. They were kind of ahead of the trend of the ladies, really starting to take over metal, and I'm all for it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, me too. I
think it's great. And but they've been, they were on the front end of that, and so good for them, and great to see that they're still churning along, even though there's been an awful lot of band turnover since the beginning of the band.
Yeah. And John, you knew who these guys were obviously before, right? So
yeah, familiar with them. I don't know all of their albums, super well, but yeah, they've been on the radar for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I think this album, first off, I'm going to say, I think it's a good album. It's got a lot of stuff that I like. It's got djenty, progressive metal riffs in there. The production is fantastic. It was produced by Drew Falk in LA, he's got a pretty wide ranging resume, Yellow Wolf. I think he worked with Lil Wayne, Motionless in White. So he's definitely got some chops, and they show on this record. The production is thick. It's like, feel like you could grab it. There is a lot of data, but it's a very listenable record. A lot of electronica that Alex Reed brings to the table too, which is, whether it's part of the genre, the standard instrumentation in a metalcore band these days or not, which it seems to be. That contribution, I think, plays a big part in the successful production of the record.
And so, yeah, I agree. It's a good record. When I think of metalcore, I think of Killswitch Engage, Shadows Fall. And the thing that those two bands do really, really well is their sing-along choruses are sing-along, like big sing-alongs, big epic sing-along songs and melodies. And for me, I found this album to be mostly formulaic. I could tell you when we were going to hear the melodies come in. I could say, oh, there's going to be an interlude here with some, synth, and it's fine. It's good. I think part of that is a curse of listening to a lot of records, over the years. So you kind of know when you hear a certain genre what it's going to be. And I think for me personally, coming off reviewing The Barbarians of California and Blood Incantation, which are two really dynamic records where you don't know what's around the corner on any of the songs, and there is no formulas. To go back to a more formulaic record was not disappointing, but it just was expected.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that's a good point. And you knew too, right? You knew early when you heard her on the first songs, and then you heard the second one. Like Derek just said, you kind of knew it was coming on most of them. Really didn't throw you much of a curveball. But again, I liked it. I mean, I love the female vocals on stuff like this. I really do. And especially somebody as good as her. So I liked it.
Yeah, I think she does a great job on it too. And I don't disagree that her presence as a female, a higher register singer, it does make it a little more accessible to somebody who doesn't love, an all-out assault from front to back. But I agree with Derek's take. I think the album's fairly formulaic. Kind of what you're going to get, with a few exceptions on here, and we'll get to those as we track by track it. But a good record. The performances are well done. The tones are great. It's a listenable mix. So there's a lot that I like about it, except that it was a little expected. I
would agree. I think we all agree.
Yeah. I felt like I knew what was coming with most of the tracks.
Right.
And that's a bit of a bummer because Never Bloom is a great album. And again, not to say that there isn't some formula on those too, but it was pretty present on this one.
Right. All right. Well, what do you want to do? You want to go over some songs here, top songs, or you want to go through track by track? For me, it was believe it or not, it was The Warning, the intro. This just had a nice build up to what was ahead. And I thought it was pretty cool. I'm kind of into that stuff on these hard metal records. I kind of like those kind of introductions where it sets the pace a little bit.
For me, Weaponized, I heard As I Lay Dying and the guitar work there, some of the riffs. And, immediately I was looking to see how Alex performed because it's the first, vocal track. And
amazing, I thought.
She hit a home run. I mean, she hit a home run. The problem was as I got deeper into the record, I'm like, God, a lot of these songs sound the same to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where I started losing interest. Doom Switch, I like the spooky Halloweeny intro. There was also a really good Wednesday Addams type interlude in the middle of that song that I thought that song really stood out. I like the video associated with it as well.
I thought the drums on that song, where I thought the drums were incredible.
I love the great riffs. The riffs move around the fretboard a lot. There's a lot of interest to what Sean's playing, or I'm sorry, Nick is playing there. And I want to go back actually. Oscillator, the second, well, technically the third track on the album, I thought was a really nice showcase, especially with that intro. It wasn't an a cappella intro, but the song starts with Sean's vocals, and I was like, oh, okay. You get a nice, clean, display of what Sean can do.
Life was such a transfer, so glad we sold our souls. Ran away from the privilege to retain control.
And then of course Alex pops in a little later in the song. So I was, when Oscillator rolled up, I thought, okay, all right, we're gonna have some good vocals on this. And then
killer riff on that song too, just tremendous. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, then right into Doom Switch, which I enjoyed. Some cool guitar trickery in there too. I wouldn't call it trickery, but some good decisions as far as how the parts were written, duplicating the guitar riff from the chorus to the immediate post chorus, but dropping it down an octave, just a board to the face kind of thing. So I thought that was great. And then of course, one of my standouts, I think is a
Me too.
killer
Killer intro to that. Oh
yeah.
my God.
Interestingly, one of the songs on the record that doesn't follow that sort of metalcore formulaic.
Yeah,
there was
good
no
point.
big sing-along chorus in it. It was just an assault.
There was some industrial elements in there that I heard, and that was my standout track because it broke the formula. It had industrial. It was just a different track from the rest of the record, and it was by far my standout.
Yeah,
I thought Venusian Blues for me was one of my favorites. Just a great song, just hard sound. I thought overall just a great arrangement in that song. I really did enjoy that.
I wouldn't say that Venusian Blues was one of my favorites, but it did stand out to me because it was more of an up feeling song, more of a major feeling chord progressions, and it just felt a little more up. I love what Sean did with the vocals there. Like going into each chorus, he'd sing one note a half step down, and it's almost like let's go have a picnic kind of feel. The way he did that. So that one stood out. I guess it is a standout in that respect. So I enjoyed that too.
Yeah. How about Ghost of Me? Did anybody say Ghost of Me? I thought that was a good song.
That's another of my standouts too.
Yeah, heavy. It was pretty heavy. Good song. I enjoyed.
Yeah, sing along. Big hooky.
Yeah,
sing song melodical, if you will, David. But nice big chuggy harmonic riff in there. I love the guitar work. You're not in agreement.
Eric doesn't agree.
I said like no.
By the second half of the record, it couldn't keep my attention. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, you said it earlier, man. Coming out of Barbarians, everything pales in comparison. After the
Blood
Barbarians,
Incarnation.
California.
How do you come after that?
Blood Incantation.
Yeah, it's tough to follow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I also, there's been some records that I've been listening to lately that I've found that we haven't talked about, and they've taken my attention. So, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Mm-hmm. Give it a score too, Derek. While you're going, go right into
it. I'll give it a 7.5. For me, it's a solid C. Yeah. I will keep it into my iTunes, and if it comes on, I won't turn it off for sure.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. I thought again the performances are really well done. The captures are fantastic. The production is good. The mix is good. They're all good at what they do. The songs aren't bad songs. They're just kind of formulaic, and nothing jumped out at me as like, holy shit, what are these guys doing?
I'd love to see them try to break their own mold. I'm just gonna say it, like, not that I have any, weight behind my words, but it's just music theory. Like, go back to the drawing board and break, just smash your mold. Kind of like go listen to Blood Incantation. If I was telling the band, like, go listen to that, there was no plan. It just was what it was. And maybe they took pieces, but I'd love to see this band and a lot of these bands that are formulaic, just break your mold. Try to be a little bit different from where you are and from some of the other bands that are in the, out there in the world.
Where do you stand on it, Dave?
Yeah, listen, this was, like this wasn't one of those where I was going to throw at you guys and expect a wow factor, but I definitely thought it was worth a listen to and a review. And I'm with Derek. I'm a 7.5. It was a solid 7.5. I couldn't go any higher. It was, it was good. It just wasn't great, but it's a good album. I mean, it's a 7.5.
And
it's not shabby.
And Dave, you wound up with a fanboy crush on Alex Reed as a result.
I love Alex Reed. Phenomenal job, Alex, on this. Phenomenal. What else can I say?
Nothing. That's it. There's no more.
That's it. All right.
So, we do have our album of the year. That's going to be coming up here pretty soon. We hope to have that out in the next couple of weeks. So,
John, tell the fans what's going to be different from this year to last, as far as what we're going to bring to the table.
Last year we each brought 10 albums to the table, and we dedicated one podcast to each of us. And frankly, nobody wants to see that much of us.
Right.
There's just no reason anybody wants to look at these faces for any longer than they have to. So, that face, yeah. So we've decided we're going to knock it down to 5 albums rather. And we're going to put it all into one episode that may be 3.5 hours long, but we're just going to we'll each bring 5 albums and we'll slam it into one. So that's the difference.
That's going to be good. I like that format.
Yeah.
If we're going to do a 3.5 hour podcast, can you let me know so I can get a diaper?
Yes.
Thank you.
Plan on it.
Great. Awesome.
Well, thanks, John. Thanks for having us.
You betcha. Always good to see your face. And take it easy, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yes,
Cheers.
Sir.
Cheers.